Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jerry Jones responds directly to Micah Parsons' bold statement. The Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons are on the same page when it comes to tanking for a better draft pick. The Cowboys are 4-7, stopping a 5-game skid with a thrilling win against the Washington Commanders on Sunday. Parsons made it clear after that matchup that he and the rest of the Cowboys have no intention of taking their foot off the gas in an attempt to tank for a better draft pick. I'm not done yet. I don't plan on tanking. If the higher-ups are looking for a draft pick, I hope that's ruined, because we got a lot of football left to play, Parsons said. As long as I'm a part of this team, we're always going to fight. It was a very firm message to the Dallas front office, which is apparently on the same page as Parsons, despite the team's very thin playoff hopes. Love it. Just absolutely love it, Jones said of Parsons' statement on 105.3 The Fan on Tuesday. I just think the game is too important. The win is too important. A win is a very satisfying thing under any circumstance. It helps you build. There's a lot of ambiguity with those draft picks. The Cowboys are currently slated to pick at number 11 per Tankathon. That'd likely put them out of the range to snag a big name in the draft like Colorado two-way star Travis Hunter or perhaps even Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. If the Cowboys put together more wins over the season's final 6 weeks, their pick will fall further back. With some massive contracts on the books already for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys will need a strong rookie class to remain a contender. Parsons is also next on deck to land a new deal, with many predicting he could reset the non-quarterback market. Minnesota Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson is currently the highest-paid player who is not a quarterback. He signed a deal in June that pays him $35 million annually and comes with a $110 million guarantee. Parsons has more than earned the right to land a lucrative deal. He's one of the most impactful defenders in the NFL and has been in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year since his rookie season. A big factor in the Cowboys' future is the head coach. Mike McCarthy is in the final year of his contract and there hasn't been much chatter about an extension. Prior to this year, McCarthy had led the Cowboys to 3 consecutive 12-win seasons, although postseason success eluded Dallas. Jones said the idea of McCarthy sticking around beyond this year is not crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all. That's not crazy, Jones said. Listen, Mike McCarthy is an outstanding coach. Mike McCarthy has been there, done that. He's got great ideas. So the bottom line is in no place in my body language or anything else have you seen an indication about what we're going to be doing relative to this staff at the end of this year. And we shouldn't. We've got a lot of football left. The Cowboys are still playing hard for McCarthy and will have a chance to get another divisional win on Thanksgiving against the New York Giants. Why do the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving? When you think of Thanksgiving, certain images probably spring to the forefront of your mind. There's undoubtedly a table full of food, whether it's an idealized version a la Norman Rockwell or something more akin to real life. And, for many families, football is probably a part of that equation. Over the years, the NFL has successfully staked its claim to Turkey Day, with the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys becoming as much of a holiday fixture as turkey and stuffing. But have you ever wondered why they're ever presents? As with many other seasonal mysteries, it largely comes down to tradition. There are plenty of cliches about how you can't get an opportunity without asking for it. Former Cowboys president and general manager Tex Schramm apparently took that to heart. As laid out in a 2021 Dallas Morning News post, Schramm volunteered his team for a second Thanksgiving Day game. The Lions, as we'll discuss shortly, were already playing on the holiday. The offer, however, came on one condition: the Cowboys would play that contest at home. The gambit promptly paid off. Dallas took to the field on Thanksgiving 1966 and beat the visiting Cleveland Browns 26-14. To make things even sweeter for Schramm, more than 82,000 fans piled into the Cotton Bowl to watch the game. The Cowboys have played away from home twice, in 1975 and 1977, but those games were outliers. When the Cowboys entered the Thanksgiving Day picture, they were the new kids on the block. The Lions, believe it or not, have an even longer history on the holiday. As explained by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the tradition dates back to 1934 when George A. Richards bought the Portsmouth Spartans, moved them to Detroit and rebranded the club as the Lions. Looking to make a splash during the initial campaign in the Motor City, Richards not only scheduled a Thanksgiving game against the Chicago Bears, but struck a deal with NBC to broadcast the game across 94 radio stations. Detroit lost that day, but the game proved to be a massive public relations success. It was such a hit that barring a break for World War II, the Lions have hosted an annual Turkey Day contest ever since. Should Cowboys trade Micah Parsons for 3 number 1 draft picks? The Dallas Cowboys will have some key decisions to cipher through in the offseason. One of those processes will involve their most important defensive player, Micah Parsons. Parsons will be due an extension as he enters the final year of his rookie contract, likely demanding a handsome figure for compensation. For those who followed the saga between the Cowboys, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb last offseason, the thought of more drawn-out negotiations are already a tiring feat. However, some feel that another summer of waiting for an inevitably large payout may not be worth the struggle. Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson has suggested the Cowboys at least explore avenues to trade Parsons to reclaim future salary cap space and hefty draft capital, starting with a comparison to Brian Burns. Quietly open the phone lines on him before signing his inevitable massive contract extension. There was a time when then Carolina Panthers edge rusher Brian Burns commanded an offer of 2 first-round draft picks from the Los Angeles Rams. There's at least a slight chance that Parsons could command 3 firsts. Not only would such a trade open a significant amount of future salary cap space, it would yield picks that Dallas could use to line the offensive and defensive lines during a micro-rebuild the next few seasons. This season has been a step back of sorts for Parsons, whose injury has also limited him in a significant way. But we say that in the Cowboys' current situation, they should be looking for the best ways to utilize him on the field, not on the trade market. By the way, with all due respect to the knowledgeable Robinson, there is no precedent for a 3 first-round pick deal for a defensive player, so such a swap would represent an all-time high. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Micah Parsons? Leave your opinion in the comments.